Obviously, I love playing games on original hardware, but even though I spend a lot of time and money on that, I don't hate emulation like a lot of commenters think I do. Emulating Pokemon on my iPhone back in high school was actually what got me to buy a 3DS after not buying anything Nintendo for years. But to me, the worst part about emulating on a phone is touchscreen controls. Yeah, I can use a controller, but the point of having Delta on my phone is for quick gaming sessions on the fly when I don't have a secondary device on me. I don't always want to carry around a controller or a secondary device just to play games without being forced to use touchscreen controls. But what if my controller was my phone case? No batteries, no Bluetooth, just some membrane buttons with metal caps. Bitmo Labs sent me their GameBaby not only for review, but they also initially sent me a prototype back in December of last year to give them some feedback. Bitmo Lab also sponsored this video, but I promise you they have no say in what I say in this video, and their money did not sway my opinion. If you don't believe me, you will by the end of this video. But yes, it's just as seamless as opening up Delta, sliding off the bottom half of the case, flipping it over, and sliding it back on. You will need to install the GameBaby specific skins for each of the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and NES emulators. Other than that, there isn't any other setup needed. You have all the necessary buttons for those three consoles, including a fast forward button and a menu button. It will only fast forward while you hold the button though. To toggle it, you have to open up the menu. And honestly, there really isn't that much to it. And that's a good thing. It's a pretty simple device since it's just a phone case with membrane buttons attached. It just works. The case itself goes for $40 on their website, but it seems to be on sale pretty regularly for $30, which does line up with other premium phone case prices. I do really like the idea of this, and it is heavily improved over the prototype they sent in December, but we do need to go over the downsides and one pretty major problem. For starters, this is currently only for the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the 15 Pro Max, not for any of the smaller iPhones and not in any other colors. So even if you do have one of those two phones, I hope you like this color scheme. To be fair, from a business perspective, it is not cheap to have a ton of SKUs. So I can excuse only having one color, but it really sucks that it doesn't work for more iPhone models. Everyone I've shown this to has thought it was awesome, but not everybody has the newest and biggest and most expensive iPhone models. As a case, it feels like a pretty decent hard shell case. I'm not going to drop test this thing because I don't want to risk it. I don't make enough money from YouTube as it is, but it does feel pretty premium to me, especially the metal buttons. Even when I'm not gaming, I just like to fidget with the buttons, and I usually press like A or B with my fingers. I don't know. But because of the placement of the LNR buttons, this case is unfortunately not MagSafe compatible, which really sucks for me because I wirelessly charge my phone every night, and I also use a MagSafe pop socket, so it doesn't really work. If the buttons were just a little bit smaller, I think it would work because it just like covers up half the buttons there. But oh well, I can use a cable to charge my phone and I can use an old-fashioned sticky pop socket. I'm just really not that into the NBA anymore. Oh well. And since I was complaining about the LNR buttons, I'm a little disappointed that X and Y are just not here. This could have opened this up to SNES and DS, though it may have been a bit tough to squeeze two screens in what's left of the screen real estate, but even just for SNES, it would have been great. You could easily fit 4 face buttons if you move the fast forward button down to the empty bottom left corner. And while I'm nitpicking here, I wouldn't mind if start and select were a little bit bigger or at least a little more spaced out, but it's fine because you don't need to reach for them too often. Like I just said though, those are smaller complaints and nitpicks. But there is one major problem with the GameBaby. If you use a screen protector, your button accuracy will be cut in half. This was something I just happened to come across in my testing completely randomly. Initially, I just thought it was a fault of the prototype they sent me, and I gave them some tips to hopefully help improve accuracy. They did not take my advice to go with the waffle cut pads that I have found are a lot more accurate for Game Boy membranes, which is fine. I don't necessarily know that it would translate the same way with a touchscreen, but it just so happened that my screen protector cracked right before I got the final version of the GameBaby. So I thought they just fixed their button accuracy issues because I didn't know at the time that it was just my screen protector. But I was about to go to Italy on vacation, and I wasn't about to fly halfway around the world without a screen protector on my phone. So I applied a new one, took off for Italy, and planned to play a lot of games with the GameBaby on the long flights to and from, until I realized it was back to bad button accuracy and barely touched it the whole trip. Once I got back, I recorded myself testing it with the screen protector on, and then took my screen protector off just to make sure I wasn't crazy. I'm a little mentally unstable, but I was correct about this one. So since then, I have been rocking the GameBaby with no screen protector and played through the entirety of WarioWare just to give the GameBaby a fair shot. And yes, despite the few things I would change about this case, the GameBaby does exactly what it sets out to do and does it well, as long as you don't use a screen protector. But if you're among the supposed 72% of phones that have screen protectors on them, I can't recommend this one. I did point this out to Bitmo Lab, and they said they had the best luck with hydrogel screen protectors. I used tempered glass for mine, and I don't really want to buy a whole new set of screen protectors just to test this out, since I've already wasted a perfectly good one for testing this product, which honestly I shouldn't have had to do in the first place. However, if hydrogel screen protectors don't interfere with the accuracy, I would strongly suggest that Bitmo Lab start including one with these cases. I think it'd be worth it for the 72% of us that like our screen protectors, and it wouldn't force us to buy a new one or necessarily waste the one we already have on. That's just my 2 cents though. Overall, I do really like the GameBaby, but honestly, I probably won't be using it too often since I like my tempered glass screen protector, wireless charging, and other MagSafe accessories. Though if you don't use any of those things and have the right phone for this and are interested in the GameBaby, I'll have a link for it down below the like button. Thank you to Bitmo Lab for sponsoring this video. I genuinely have a ton of respect for companies who are willing to sponsor completely candid reviews like this and have no say in the video editing process. It's awesome. I'm excited to see what you come up with next, and I hope that you can find a way to make this work better with tempered glass screen protectors. And of course, I'm more than willing to help you guys test out more future iterations of this. If you enjoyed this video, a like would be greatly appreciated. And please, let me know what you think of this product in the comments down below. Do you like it? Do you want to buy it? Or is it not for you? Either way, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. While we're being candid, I think the GameBaby name is pretty silly. It's NoRushRemaster.com.